Hi everyone, welcome to this fortnightly Tools for Frontline staff session. We've got two presentations today. So first up, we've got James, who's here from A Good Thing, talking about their offer in terms of access to goods and devices for residents who need it. And we've also got Fatu, who is here to talk about some bystander intervention training. So I'm going to pass over to James. Thanks for coming along.
Hiya, it's nice to be here. It's my first time doing something like this. So yeah, I'll share my screen and then I'll crack on with the PowerPoint. Let's hope it works.
Yeah. Perfect.
Right, can everyone see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm just trying to move the thing. So hello, I am James. I'm representing A Good Thing. I volunteered with them for around 6 months now. I focus on business outreach mostly. So I'll do some admin behind the scenes, reaching out to do things like this. And yeah, so that's me. So to begin with, A Good Thing is an organization which essentially matches charities with businesses so they can get free goods. So let's see if this works. So yes, so businesses generate too much waste. As you can see here, approximately 1.2 million office desks, 1.6 million office chairs end up in UK landfills each year. So the whole point of A Good Thing is that to stop things like this from happening. So over the pandemic, 70% of small charities experienced a drop in income, while 68% experienced an increase in demand. Again, it shows why that is a problem which needs to be solved. This is where we come in. So as you can see here, so if businesses have things which they're not using, it could be practically anything, they can list these items on the website, which is a good thing. And then charities, which are missing items, such as desks, chairs, could be anything, can request those items. So again, less landfill because they're going directly to the charities themselves through our site. And it's quite simple to do this. Here's a little screenshot of what the website looks like when you're creating an offer. You just put in a category, and then the title of what they are, and then a bit of description and an image. And yeah, and then you can request these items, charities can request them, and then details exchange, and then charity usually picks up the items. So we don't do any exchange, any delivery. The business can deliver items if they so wish using a courier service, but usually the charities pick them up. So on the website, I won't go through the whole details now, but essentially on the website, it'll show you how a business signs up and how a charity signs up. And yeah, so this is all on the website. We don't need to go into that. So these are some examples. So as you can see here, we've got some floor tiles were matched in Buckinghamshire to update a wonderful community space. So this is an image. We have some more examples. Carpet tiles are matched to First Stage Children's Centre for their community centre. We have a few more. Again, it's just showing the wide range of items that we have, that we offer on the website, which businesses can list. So we have promotional T-shirts. They can go to anywhere. Baby blankets. The list is quite endless, really. And we have a few more examples. So laptops, lamps. So it can be electronics. That doesn't matter too much. We have some notebooks, some tote bags, some painting and decorating equipment. So yeah, it just goes on. It can really be anything. Scaffolding poles. And then I added a little slide just to show Hackney itself. So this is items that St Mungo's Community Housing Association has managed to receive off a good thing. So we have laptops, crockery mugs, shelving, cleaning products. Community Closet has received tote bags, London Scrap Project, surplus materials. So yeah. And then this is a new thing which our website has. Essentially, charities can list if they want certain things. So chairs, for example, here, as you can see, this is one example. So they can list that on the website, and the businesses can scroll down, see what what people want, and see if they have it, and then match them that way. So this is one example. This is at the top of the website. So what they do, so this charity has asked for clothes, laptops, mobile phones, children books, tells them why they need it, so businesses are informed, and a bit about the charity, and then you can just press respond to this need, and yeah, and then you can get chatting and match and get the items to them. And that's about it, really. There's FAQs on the website. You can ask me questions. I've been out of the loop for a while, to be honest. There's been quite a few updates. But if you have any questions, then please email me. You can check out the website, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Amazing, thanks, James. Great presentation. We've already got a hand up. I'm not sure who from Hackney Quest that is. It's Lucy or Gemma, maybe.
Lucy.
But do you want to come in? Hi, Lucy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just going to say that we have signed up to a good thing, so I can highly recommend it. It's very easy to register, very simple process, quick to do, and then I just get email updates basically of anything that's nearby, and I get a photo of what's on offer and a short description. So it's just good to see what's coming through, because you never know what we might need. And we also put in, I think we did a sort of match, so put up sort of specifics that we're looking for. But yeah, I would just say it's good to be registered, because you never know what might come through and what you might need.
Yeah, it is brilliant. Yeah, it only takes 30 seconds to sign up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, thanks, Lucy. Charlie.
Thanks for the presentation, James. I'm just curious. So the organisation is geared to going to charities rather than to individuals is the thinking, isn't it? Because I'm just aware there is a large amount of furniture need in the borough from a resident's perspective, but you'd kind of be wanting to go through like a third-party organisation, definitely.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And with those kind of equipment, are you ever seeing things like white goods that the charities are kind of exchanging? Because obviously there's like, one question is like the kind of insurance around like electrical goods and stuff. How do you manage that process? And two, yeah, it's just to know that if you're doing like white goods, how does that work? Because I know that, again, that's a big demand area in the borough.
Well, it really depends on how many the business is giving away, for starters. So if they're quite small, there's usually not much of a process. Everything gets reviewed anyway before they're published. But yeah, usually they're reviewed. But I think it's, it depends on what the items are. But I'll give you more information on that if through my email. I don't have that information on me, but yes.
Thank you.
Nice one, thanks, Charlie. Does anyone else have any other questions for James? I was going to ask around, because I suppose in our work we've got lots of good, we've got kind of strong links with the voluntary sector as the sort of people who would be receiving the goods, but we probably haven't quite engaged that much with the businesses in Hackney, really, in terms of looping them into our work around poverty reduction and whatever role they could play in that. So I guess I'm asking a general question about like, how does a good thing go about making links with businesses, and do you have any advice for how we could go about doing that?
Well, a lot of the time we reach out to umbrella organizations, which usually they have quite a few connections. So that's the easiest way of getting through to lots of businesses. That is the main way. We post on social media and stuff, and then businesses do eventually see it. It's quite a slow moving process. but we have seen steady gains.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing in particular.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And is it mostly quite large businesses, or do you have some sort of like really local small ones on there as well?
Oh, we have all sorts.
Yeah.
I don't have any on the top of my head, but
Yeah.
it is a wide range.
Cool. Sounds great. Anyone else have any questions for James? No? Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much, James. That's really useful. And we will put your slides and contact details in the newsletter if that's all right.
Yeah, that's perfect. Happy to reach out to anyone.
Cool. Well, feel free to stick around for the rest of the meeting if you want.
Yeah, we'll do.
Up to you. Cool. We are going to move on to our next item then. So, Fatu, do you want to come in?
Yes, I do. Thank you, and thanks, James. It seems like it's a great activity they're working for. Probably get in touch myself as well, so that's a good thing. Sorry, I've got a bit of a course. I'm going to try my best today. That's why I've got a lot of tea trying my best. So my name is Fatu. I work for Neighbourhood Watch. Neighbourhood Watch is one of the leading charity when it comes to crime prevention. We got over 60,000 volunteers across London and Wales. But today I'm here to talk about the bystander intervention. I don't know if anyone understands what bystander intervention is, so I'm just gonna quickly go on my share my presentation if I can. Let's see. I think the wrong one. Bear with me. Yeah, that's not the one I want. 1 second. Should I be prepared now? I suppose.
I can share my screen if you want. If you're struggling.
No, it should be. I've got a few presentations and
Okay.
Okay, I hope so. Bear with me. Yeah, that's the one. Can share, I see. Can you see it's not already built?
Yeah, we've got it.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so going back to our mention, my name is Fatu. I'm the project lead for Neighbourhood Watch, and basically my role is really to look into providing a bystander intervention workshop. The way I like to see it, and I call it, is blueprint to cultivate change, because I do believe that by intervening when someone needs help is the best way to be able to show example obviously in a safe way. So let me just introduce a bit more about who Neighbourhood Watch is. I can do that. So as I mentioned early on, Neighbourhood Watch has over 60,000 volunteers, and we are one of the leading charity when it comes to preventing crime. We also believe that the best way to prevent crime is to provide tools and training to the community for them to feel empowered and safer. We see when a community feels safer, usually there's less crime happening because they know each other, and it's a lot easier also to tackle crime. Now I'm going to come down to the bystander training. Bystander intervention is basically a safe way to be able to intervene when we see a crime or when you see anything happening. So is making sure you're not able to put yourself at risk, but on the top of it, when it comes to the bystander intervention, is to understanding how that can escalate it. So let's say that if you see something that's happening and we're not intervening for safety reason, I suppose, what's the effect as, and in a bigger scale. And I hope that makes sense. There is obviously a lot of study around the bystander effect. I don't know if anyone is aware of it. Maybe on the Q&A you can let me know. And it's also to do with understanding a bit of the psychology on who and why we're not helping, which is to do with unconscious bias. I know you're all professional here, so probably you all know about it. So I'm not gonna stay too long when it comes to that. I mentioned myself, obviously I'm the project lead. I also live in Hackney. I also volunteer in Hackney, so I'm very much Hackney based. However, Neighbourhood Watch is based in Vauxhall. And I love the way to be able to provide tools to the society or to the government or to the society or to the people when it comes to giving more power to the people for them to feel safe. Because when it comes to feeling safe is a priority when it comes to mental health. That's what I see. and also the priority to be able to tackle isolation, because obviously when people are not feeling safe, usually people don't interact with anyone. And also that's the key point that we're trying to tackle as well. So I'm not gonna kind of talk too much about it, because I do believe that the most important thing is the Q&A. So I'm gonna go straight to that Q&A. And before that, let me just explain what I'm doing. So basically, we received some funding from City Bridge Foundation, and I'm able to provide free bystander training intervention through 3 boroughs. So I'll be working here in Hackney, Croydon, and Lambeth. We're offering 10 free session in Hackney. That can be 5 session online and 5 session in person. So basically, it's 10 sessions altogether. The time scale, basically, bystander intervention training lasts about 2 hours. So basically 2 hours. And I like to believe that the way we able to provide a hands-on workshop is to make sure that people really understand why the impact that bystander has, and how can you feel safe in intervening in if you see any type of crime. Okay, so that's me. Now, anyone has any question for me?
Thanks, Fatty. Great presentation. I had a question. Oh, Charlie, do you want to come in?
Hi, Fatu. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I guess I'm interested about who you're already working with in Hackney. So there are teams in the council that are obviously more focused around crime and crime prevention than we are. So I'm thinking about the gangs unit. I'm thinking that we did have a hate crime team. I wonder if you've had any contacts with those or those.
I have, and I think also, the way I see it is, I don't know if yourself had the bystander intervention. I mean, I work in the volunteer center as well, as you know, in Hackney, and I think the frontline worker also requires some type of training. That's the way I see it. So I did make contact with hate crime, mainly, as you said, because there's obvious contact when it comes to racism. But I still also do believe that when it comes to supporting the frontline worker, that can help and give a ripple effect when it comes to supporting their residents, and that's the reason why I'm here.
Thanks, Charlie. Councillor Charlton.
Hi, Fatu. I knew that you would be coming. I'm actually the borough coordinator for Neighbourhood Watch, although I do struggle. I'm not going to lie, I struggle alongside my councillor duties to give it the attention it deserves. But it is very popular, and obviously I've got access to the admin system. We probably should work a bit more closely together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely be in contact. Yes, I think we're also on LinkedIn, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheryl has got my mobile number.
Okay.
But let's meet up soon, and let me help you get this off the ground.
Oh,
that would be brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Charlton. That's great. Fatty, is it, so just to clarify, is the training for anyone, or is it for professional? Is it just for residents, or for anyone?
Well, do I see it, because I also volunteer in Hackney, and as I mentioned to Charlie, which is for everyone.
Okay.
And I also wanted to make sure that today I'm coming because I do believe the frontline worker have so much pressure, and I do feel that most of the frontline worker, we do require some type of training just to make sure that when, let's say, they going through any type of conflict that can be at work. I do understand that obviously our workshop is mainly dedicated, or the funding is coming from the hate crime. However, those techniques can be used to anything. Let's say you see something on the street and you're not happy about it and you want to help. That's a way for you to help. So it's just, this type of workshop is for everyone and everybody. But I feel that the frontline worker do require some support, and because it's free, I want you to make sure that everybody is aware of it.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. I can imagine it being useful for sort of housing officers and people who spend a lot of their time out in the community. So yeah, makes total sense. Does anyone else have any other questions for Fatu? Genevieve, thanks for your question. So where is the training schedule posted, Fatu? Is it online anywhere?
Well, we'll be starting November. So
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know what I'm going to do. Then I will be able to contact you and then send you over the information, exactly the dates and times.
So is it best to just email you directly if people want to sign up and get the information?
Yes, I think should I leave my email address, or you can do that?
Yeah. If you you put it in the chat now if you want, but I can also put it in our newsletter as well, which will go out next week.
If you can, that'd be great. But I've seen it on the newsletter here.
Cool, sounds good. Charlie,
Please do share those dates, Fatu, because as a former housing officer, I do. There are things that come up in your day to day that kind of thing would be useful for, where you're not always sure about how to approach that things. I know my colleagues in customer services are often having to manage quite complex situations where things are escalating, and we do have internal training for that, but it doesn't mean that might not be beneficial for that type of worker as well. And we also have colleagues in the NHS. And something that we're hearing in another space, actually, our colleagues in the Food Network have said, so those are kind of organizations that focus on food poverty, who are running food banks, running community meals. Some of them have said over the last year that they've been experiencing more aggression. And that's because, people are under increased pressure. If they're in someone's in intense need, they're obviously going to be quite stressed. But then that's made it really difficult for those organizations to continue to serve people who are then being quite difficult. I know this isn't like awareness training, but there's something here maybe that might be useful for them as well.
Yes, and definitely, because as you well said, when you work in a type of environment when people are stressful, because that's especially when it comes to the basic needs, which is food, and not be able to access it. I mean, definitely that will give the staff enough power, I would say, confidence to be able to, when they see something, they're able to report it. And I think that's the whole around when it comes to bystander intervention, is when you see something that where you feel that you want to step in, you want to help, is how can you help? And I think that's where the question that people are asking, how can I help? And often what happens, that's my own experience, where I see something and I want to help, but I'm not 100% sure, or maybe I'm rushing somewhere, or maybe something, let's say I with my child, therefore I can't really help. There is a way where you actually can call someone, or you can delay. There's so many ways to be able to help that person. So definitely is a good point, Charles, when it comes to food poverty, and I will definitely look into it.
Yeah, email me when you're ready with the scheduling. That distributed to the right people.
Oh, thanks, Charles.
Nice one, thanks, Charlie.
Charles.
Oh, great. There's your email address. Any other questions for Fatu? No.
But thank you so much for allowing me to talk. Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like a great offer, Fatu, and we'll obviously promote it in the newsletter. So hopefully you'll get a few people emailing you to find out about it. It sounds like a really good and important offer. So thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you, and it's free.
And it's free. Well, exactly. Everyone likes free stuff. So there you go. Cool. Well, we've actually got through our two sort of presentations, I think, in record time today. So we usually sort of open the floor up in this part of the meetings to give anyone the opportunity to talk about some the work they're doing, if there's anything they want to promote, anything up sort of coming up in the next period that they would like to promote and get people through the door on, or questions they want to ask of the group. Now's a sort of open floor. So Charlie, do you want to come in? Also, Fatu, do you mind unsharing your screen? Thank you. Cheers. Charlie.
I think most of you who come to this call regularly will be familiar with me talking about energy advice. I just wanted to flag that as we're entering into winter, this is going to be more prescient, as residents are going to be experiencing higher bills. There's a change in the energy cap, so there will be increased costs associated with energy. So we, as I've mentioned before, we've been working with an organisation called Crew Energy to go out and deliver advice across the borough. By no means is that the only offer. We've got Hackney Council on the call. They have an offer around energy advice. Our colleague Scope delivers in libraries as well to kind of try and get their residents the right information about how to save money on their bills, reduce their energy consumption. We've agreed some dates with our colleagues in Crew Energy to be in Hackney libraries between now and the end of March. We'll be released in one of the libraries per month, once per month. And that's open access. So if you've got a resident who's struggling with their bills or who wants to ask questions about Crew Energy, and that's a face-to-face engagement session with an energy advice officer, I've just posted in the Love Hackney link, which will tell you in what library will be on what days. It's an opportunity to kind of connect with that advice as a kind of first line. And if that person is in real acute need, our colleagues at Crew have a second level of support, which is a kind of a phone line intervention service, which goes into more detail about someone's energy issues. And if really needed, there's also a home visit service connected to that. So I just wanted to flag that we've agreed some dates of where we're going to be in the next 6 months. And if you're with a resident who's struggling, have a look at those dates and go along. Scope are also in Hackney libraries often. I'll try and find the schedule and put that in the chat, but I know this is going to be a question on lots of residents' minds in the coming weeks. So just to flag that there is support out there, and those sorts of interventions, not only about how to manage your bills, but the kind of behavioural things about how to reduce your energy consumption will impact your bills as well. So I'll put the information for Scope in the chat, but I just wanted to flag that. And if you have an event this winter that your organisation is planning to do, let us know. We'll try and either get Crew there as a support or someone to kind of link up these kind of areas. So let me know.
Amazing, thanks, Charlie. Anyone else want to come in at this point? Titilayo. Hi, Titilayo. How's it
Hi
going?
everyone. Hi, Jan and Charles. How's everyone doing? Hi, I'm just here to clarify some issues. I think Charles got in touch with me regarding some initiatives coming up. So I wanted to know how that is going, if that's still in the pipeline. Yes, so that's one. The second one is about housing issues. I'm working with families with complex, who has children with complex needs, and we have loads of housing problems. And I think last week we were thinking about if we can, as a team, come and meet the housing team so that we'll be able to know how to navigate and support our families effectively. So that's one thing that we as a team, we're keen to know how we can work with the council to get good results. Let me come out now.
Brilliant. We'll definitely see who the best person to speak to is on that, because we have done some training here before, some kind of demystifying the housing pathway stuff here before, and we've definitely got the recording from that. And I don't know, it's probably still quite up to date, but it would be great to get a refresh, wouldn't it, and get someone here. But it sounds like there's quite a specific need for your service and team as well, a specific training need for really understanding what it's with. So maybe we can take that away and find the right person in.
And Titilayo, is it people who are on the waiting list to sort of, or is it people in social housing already?
So so we've got mix. We've got people who are already on the list,
right,
and we've got people who want to be on the list.
And
we've got people, maybe if they have adequate support, maybe they might want to move outside London. Things like that. We've got mixture of all of these varieties of problems.
And you just need to know how to advise them and support them. I'm sure that those housing services would be really open to that idea. It just might take us a minute to find the right people to work out where that is. But Charlie might know a bit more about what might be most useful. We keep I mean, it's always something that we need to do more on, isn't it? And working with messages out there as clearly as possible about the realities of where people can get support and what it looks like.
Titilayo, are you at Hackney Arc now?
That's right, yeah.
Do you know Cherry Fitzsimmons?
That name rings a bell.
So Cherry is also based at Hackney Arc, and I
Okay.
know that some people in Hackney Arc do have a close relationship with the housing service. So previously, Hackney Arc and the OT triage team in the housing medical assessment team, they have a relationship with each other and they know each other. So it might be worth having a conversation with Cherry a bit about kind of what kind of communication channels are already open between those services, because I did some work last autumn on this particularly about the relationship between housing and Hackney Arc. So let me put you in touch with Cherry. It might be that there's a strand or a dialogue that you can join in there as well. Just so we don't end up repeating ourselves somewhere else. And if not, then there are contacts we have in housing. I'm sure, I know Genevieve is on the call, but she's on a busy train, but that's the kind of, there are ways we can explore other ways too.
Yeah, and that was your second question, wasn't it?
Yes, the third one, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking for organizations that are able to give donations of furniture. I know I've heard about that on this, but I completely forgot who gives furniture to families, like beddings and wardrobes. I think one of the ladies who does the restaurant, I think she's mentioned about it before, but completely, if anyone will know any organization.
I mean, Lucy, do you want to come in first, then I'll go after you?
I was just questioning whether I've got the name right actually now, but I was going to say, is it the Lighthouse Project?
So Lily at Lighthouse does have a furniture.
Yes.
Do you know them, Titilayo?
I think I've heard, but I don't think I have the correct contact.
I know. I'll give you Lily. I'll write you a long email to Titilayo with the right some email contact. I'll put you in touch with Lily from Lighthouse, because they have a. Ina from Idi's Community Kitchen also does some furniture work. There's also the Community Closet has kicked off, which is more about clothing, which Krista presented on the last session of the launch of that organisation into a new space. So that might be somewhere you can have a think about. It won't be furniture, but it might be those things like bedding, like clothing that families also need. So I'll give you a list of contacts.
Okay. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that. It's always good to be reminded as well, because maybe we ought to invite them to come and talk about the furniture offer from a few of the different organisations, just to sort of let people on the call know, what's out there and what they can go to who for, because it's always so hard to
so useful.
Where to go, isn't
it? Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Titilayo.
Thanks.
I was just going to flag that our next two sessions of these, we're hoping we're going to be focused on sort of winter preparedness. So we are planning on doing two sessions, one on the October the 16th and one on October the 30th. So we're sort of me and Charlie are sort of in the process of planning them, but that's the plan. And so the 16th one on winter preparedness is going to cover things like vaccinations, the flu, that obviously all of the health element of preparing for the winter. And then on the 30th we're going to hopefully do a session on sort of more community-based support around staying warm and the financial side of bills increasing and that sort of thing over the winter. So that's the plan for those two next sessions. So we'll be sort of promoting it in the newsletter, and we'll send out some comms around it as well. So just to put that on everyone's radar, really, that we're aware that the weather's changing and we're sort of going into that winter period now, and people are probably conscious of what that means for residents who are struggling. And so we're trying to sort of stand something up with the next two sessions to give people a space to discuss that, but also give you some practical information. So if there's things that people are particularly interested in hearing about, or even better, people who actually want to speak during the meeting and talk about something they can offer, then get in touch with me and Charlie, and we'd love to have you speaking in one of those meetings. Genevieve.
There's a speaker on the train now. Is there feedback?
Yeah, we're all right. We can hear you.
Okay. all I was going to say is we are updating our severe weather emergency protocol for rough sleepers and those that need information on severe weather and where the warm spaces will be. And so we keep that published on the website, but it will be updated for this year as well.
Great, thanks, Genevieve. Do you know when that will be updated?
Yes, very soon.
Very soon. Great.
In time for the session. I also wondered if I think we've got Hannah on the call. I don't know if you wanted to plug the session, the advice sessions for families in temporary accommodation. So Hannah, along with lots of frontline staff in the Woodbury Down area, from the Children and Family Hubs and Here to Help and Housing and the voluntary sector, Hackney Play Bus and Caris Families. I don't know if you want to, if you want to come on, Hannah, feel free to jump in. But there's a session on Monday. The next one's on Monday. It's from 12 until 3, and it's at the Edge Youth Club, or directly opposite it on Playbus. Yeah, if it's nice weather, we tend to be out on the grass. Probably not. It's probably getting a bit colder, so we'll probably be in the Edge Youth Club. But do please encourage any families who are living in temporary accommodation and who might need access to any kind of support that might be on offer there. There are, yeah, as I say, people who can support around housing, immigration advice, I think, as well. Hannah, jump in, please. Link in with the Children and Family Hubs there. Find out what's on offer from a range of services. The health visiting services down there as well. Hannah's got lots of drilling going on, so she can't jump in. But the flyers and information about those sessions, they're fortnightly. So yeah, the next one's on the 6th, which is on Monday. The one after is on the 13th, again on a Monday, so it's fortnightly. And yeah, it's a really great opportunity to kind of connect in with other services down there and make it a bit easier, seeing all these services in one place, and there's toys for the kids. So yeah, for families who are in that situation, having to navigate lots of different services, it's a really useful place to come and connect with the social prescriber. And I just saw we've got Louisa on the call as well from Children and Family Hubs. I don't know if you want to say hello, or if you've got drilling, or in the middle of multitasking, but yeah, really great to be working with the Children and Family Hubs and the GP surgery, as well as the voluntary sector down there with all the different services. Yes, it will be in the newsletter. And yeah, get in touch if you think you might want to be involved in that work as well. Oh, Genevieve, is that a new hand or an old hand? Louisa is having issues with the mic. But jump in if you make it work, Louisa. Do jump in and say hello. We have lots of regulars to this group, but we also yeah, have lots of new faces each time. So it's always great to have people say hello and sort of yeah, connect through this space. Great, thanks, Fatu. So is there anyone else who wanted to plug anything, promote anything, ask anything of the group while the recording's on? Last week, when people had finished saying anything they wanted to say with the recording on, we actually turned the recording off, and we just had a bit of an open discussion for anyone who was feeling a bit self-conscious with this being up on YouTube and stuff. But Louisa, have you managed to find your? I can see you. Oh, give us a wave for those who can see video faces. But yeah, we'll do more. Hopefully we'll come and talk about what's happening in the Children and Family Hubs as well over the coming months, because there's lots going on there, and this is a great space to sort of hear about what's going on there, but also to find out from others on the call what's out there in different areas. So we're always looking to promote this session to all those that don't know about it. So great to have new faces like you, Fatu, who can let other people know about it. Glad you're finding it useful. Yeah, before we turn the recording off, was there any other kind of announcements or questions or computer says no. Love it. Okay, so should we turn off the recording and see if